What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review. Today, from Star Wars The Black Series, we are taking a look at Clone Commander BACARA from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. This is the second figure to make its way to the Galaxy Packaging Revenge of the Sith subline. And finally, we're getting a new theatrical clone trooper. It's actually been quite a while since we've gotten something from one of the actual movies. Unfortunately, there's definitely some issues with it. Mainly that helmet just doesn't quite sit right with us. But as always, we'll discuss that more as we get into the actual figure itself. So here's a quick look at the packaging here. We have the mural art on the side, which you can immediately see what is going on and what is wrong with this figure right off the bat, right? Just looking at the mural art. The visor is way off and we are missing those two dots there on the helmet. On the back, here's a larger image of that mural art. We also have a bio for BACARA. Go ahead and pause it if you want to read it now. We have the lower portion of the box here and the barcode on the bottom. And so yeah, we're not going to waste any more time here. We'll go ahead and quickly take a look at the accessories and then we will jump into the figure itself. As always, with every clone trooper, we get both clone trooper blasters. So we have the carbine and the rifle. These are both sculpts that we have seen 100,000 times in the line. And as is tradition with all recent blasters, we got zero paint on them. And in fact, they're sparkly. And here is BACARA out of the packaging, and he looks all right. The helmet is definitely really disappointing and is a major eyesore, but it is on that wonderful 3.0 2023 clone trooper body that just has some great articulation and some pretty good proportions as well. I'm also digging the extra sculpted strap bits. I do think those look pretty nice. And we also have the return of a soft goods comma, which is something that we haven't seen in a little while. And you can actually tell there they inserted a piece of plastic between the comma and the legs, because if you're not careful, your BACARA could potentially get purple staining on the actual armor from the comma. The actual dye itself seems to be bleeding onto the actual figure. It's a pretty easy fix as far as I understand. You just kind of got to wash it with a little bit of like soap and water and, you know, let it dry out, and that should get rid of the excess dye. But yeah, just be careful. Word of caution there right off the gate. So yeah, let's just grab him off the stand. We'll take a closer look at these details here and let's just discuss that helmet. All right, and taking a closer look here, you could definitely tell the main issue I really feel like is just the visor. It's way too droopy. It's not nearly as sharp or defined as it should be. I mean, just check out the comparison here from what he looks like in Revenge of the Sith to the actual figure. Obviously, there's a lot of deco missing on this guy, but you know, we're totally expecting these to be devoid of weathering at this point, so that's not the biggest deal in the world. But still, when we're losing out on all of this weathering, it would be nice if they just went a little bit harder on getting those theatrical accurate details right here. Because as it stands, I still think that this BACARA almost has a Clone Wars animated look to him because of the visor. And if we're going to put him in a Revenge of the Sith box, you know, I think we need to go full theatrical and just ditch the weird amalgamation thing that they've been doing with the clone troopers for a while. I personally think we need to go theatrical all the way. And of course, we're missing the two red dots here. Like I mentioned earlier, it's one thing to, you know, not have the chipped and crazy weathered Revenge of the Sith deco that all the clone troopers have. You know, at this point, we expect that to not be on the figure. But now we're starting to miss actual, like, deco that is specific for the characters. The upcoming Cody is missing some gray on his upper arm, and BACARA obviously missing these two dots. It may not seem like a big deal on the surface, but it is just one of those things where it's like, I understand that there's budgets to follow and this and that, but when a figure like BACARA is basically 90% reuse, I think we could get it in the budget to include two little red dots there to make it super accurate to the character. feel like it's pretty unexcusable for them to miss such a major part of the character. I mean, it's on the front of the figure. I could maybe understand if it was like something on the back side, but no, it's right there, clear as day, even on the mural art, so it's a little disappointing there. And while I may seem like I'm really down on this figure, I don't think the helmet is so horrible that, you know, I'm going to say, like, you should pass on it. I definitely think it's still worthy enough to have for the collection, but it is also worthy of being fairly criticized here just because of how goofy it looks. And one thing I did like, though, is that this is actually the return of a non-removable helmet. So the proportions, I do feel like, look a little bit better than normal since we don't have to worry about having a head underneath for BACARA. They did manage to give us the black line going across the back of the helmet. And the extra strap here does look pretty good. We got a little bit of purple and silver there on the chest plate. And the same thing with the shoulder strap over the arm. Down on the comma, these are painted as well, so we get a little bit of beige there. Like I said, soft goods comma. Just be very careful with this thing. It is looking like it's already kind of tinted. Put the plastic back. But it looks good. I actually am a fan of both commas. Sometimes the soft sculpted plastic works really well, and sometimes the soft goods works well. This time around, I do think the soft goods looks nice. However, this whole staining issue is going to be a pretty big problem. And I think if it comes between, you know, the figure being stained versus a little bit of restricted mobility, then maybe we should have gone soft plastic on this instead, because staining the white armor is not good. Otherwise, though, for the details, like I said, this is just the 2023 Clone Trooper body, so it has all of those adjustments. Everything that we've come to know and love about that updated Clone Trooper body applies to BACARA. For some reason on this copy, this arm here was wanting to sit really low, and it still wants to actually kind of pop out. That's odd. It's like a QC issue, though. Don't expect that to be on every single BACARA. So yeah, obviously this is a very clean version of BACARA, but I think the details are good enough for what they need to be. They obviously could be much better. This helmet could be so much better. I still look at this and I see BACARA, so I'm gonna say detail-wise, you know, it's passable. Not great, not bad either, just kind of somewhere in the middle for me. So it's been a while since we've done an articulation breakdown on the 3.0 body. So I'll do a quick rundown here, especially since we have a little bit of a different situation now that we have this head here that doesn't have a removable helmet. So BACARA can actually look up a pretty decent amount, and he can look down not really much at all. We do get a little bit of side to side, but this big bulky helmet definitely gets in the way. And of course, he can look either way there. These shoulders can move all the way out, and even though we still get this little piece of armor here, since the shoulder pad is on the O-ring system, you get that 360 movement there, no problem. We do have bicep swivel and butterfly joints, and the butterfly joints on this figure are really crazy, like especially this arm. But like I said, I think this arm is actually suffering from some kind of QC issues, so that will be unfortunate for my brother Justin, as this is his copy. But the single jointed elbow gives us just about 90 degrees, goes ever so slightly over, not too much there. And we do also still have swivel at the elbow. We do have the trigger finger hand here that rotates and has the vertical hinge, and the other trigger finger hand which rotates and has the horizontal hinge. The crunch forward here is just ever so slight, and going backwards is also just about the same, not really all that much. We do still get the rotation there, and you can see, of course, he kind of slips out from the armor there. It's just floating. It's not glued down, thankfully. And we do still get that tilt there. The legs can kick out really far. He can do the splits pretty well. We do have the glorious thigh swivel. He can kick back a little bit. We have a single knee that goes past 90 degrees and swivels at the knee. We also have the wonderful detached knee pad. And finally, the feet can go down all the way. They can go up a decent amount, and he does have ankle pivot. So, of course, everything we've come to know and love about the updated 2023 Clone Trooper body. All that posability is still here. I had no doubts about that, but it is always just fun to mess around with this new Clone Trooper. It's just such a dynamic figure, so easy to just switch up the posability on a whim. And of course, doing some really nice action shots with him definitely helps ease the pain of the helmet, because he does just look awesome in this running pose. As always, before we wrap the review up, let's do some comparisons here. We're going to do tons of the clone commanders from Revenge of the Sith and some key Jedi as well. We'll start things off with some oldies but still goodies. We have the original blue line Commander Cody and the red and black box Commander Gree. Next, we'll move on to Commander Bly, and then we also have a plain Phase 2 2023 Clone Trooper. After those, we have the fantastic original Order 66, 212th, and Coruscant Guard Troopers. Sure, the articulation is not good, but you can't deny how awesome they look just standing there. And they both have tons of weathering, something that is sorely missed these days. Moving on, of course, we have to compare him with his Jedi Master. We've got Ki-Adi-Mundi, and then the other Galaxy Packaging Revenge of the Sith figure, Darth Sidious. And last but certainly not least, we'll do a comparison with the Vale's Toy Store Commander Neo. And so there you have it. There was my review for the brand new Commander BACARA. This figure is definitely a little disappointing, to say the least. The lack of deco and the inaccurate helmet definitely bring it down a few pegs, but unfortunately I do feel like it still slides into the category of good enough to still warrant a pickup and warrant it on your shelf. It's unfortunate that we're having to settle for basically mid when we all know that the Black Series could be doing so much better, especially with some of these clone troopers. The missing deco is mind-boggling, and the potential staining on the legs is a massive QC issue that I think they should have absolutely considered before they produced the figure. So there you have it. That's my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. I'm Nate from Out of the Basement. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.